It's called Surviving City Hall. Former City Councillor Donna MacDonald's first book details her nearly 2 decades on Nelson City Council, which all began with a fall election in 1988.
I'd always been an activist involved in lots of community development activities and nonprofit work, and some friends and I were sitting around going, oh, here comes another election, there's never anybody to vote for, and one of us should run, and the finger kind of went around the room and I didn't say no fast enough, so I got to be the candidate. And much to my surprise and many other people's surprise, I actually came in second in that election. And so that was the first one.
So started MacDonald's political career, which spanned 7 non-consecutive terms in office as a councillor. During that time, she served with 5 different mayors and even ran for the mayor's seat twice, but was unsuccessful. It was in 2006, during a term that MacDonald wasn't on council, that she first began to pen a book about her experiences in local government.
When I got back onto council, I didn't have as much time to devote to it, but kind of kept picking away at it over the years. And then when I retired in 2014, I thought, boy, am I ever going to regret it on my deathbed if I don't finish that book, because it was almost there. So I think what was motivating me was that I'd spent 19 years doing this work, and I thought it was worth sharing because I really believe that local government is so important, and generally people don't really understand necessarily how it works, what powers local government have, what powers they don't have, and just how exciting it can be.
MacDonald worked on many community projects during her time in office, like having a continuous waterfront pathway with public access, along with the upgrades that were done to the community complex and the development of Touchstone's Nelson Museum and Art Gallery. It was these experiences and many more that gave MacDonald the material for her book.
I tell stories about different people I've met and experiences I had. I share some of the learning that I acquired over the years about how this works, local politics work, and also I reflected on some bigger issues like women's participation and what democracy means and how we practice this thing called democracy. So it's a very readable book. My goal was for a general audience, and so it's fairly humorous, and but there are hard stories. It's like life. It's got everything in there: joy and pain, and tears and laughter, and success and failure. But it's all told in a very accessible way. I always tried in my political life to, even if I disagreed with someone's ideas or actions, to treat them respectfully, and so I applied that same principle to the book. So it's not, it doesn't have all the juicy details that it could have, but it's a better book for that.
A book launch for Surviving City Hall takes place on Thursday, April 14th, 7 p.m. at the Hume Hotel, and everyone is invited. Copies of the book can be found in Nelson at Otter Books and Touchstone's Museum. For Go in Nelson, I'm Christina Krichkowski.